People put their hard-earned money that they literally worked so hard to make, and sometimes they just throw it in something and they're like, oh, well, why did I lose? Well, you're just following random people that you don't know if they're even good at what they do. So you have to really say to yourself, I'm going to become advanced and know what I'm doing.
Hello and welcome. This is the Daily Crypto. We are bracing for the worst economic situation of the century. How can we make the most of the bear market? How can we avoid the typical mistakes that most traders make? Keep watching to find out as we answer these questions with Gareth Soloway. As we begin, why should anyone listen to Gareth Soloway?
I've made every mistake in the book, and you can avoid them and then ultimately get to the profitable point much, much quicker, right?
Every novice trader or investor is going to make mistakes. It's just natural. Soloway points out that we are dealing with shark-infested waters, meaning there are algorithms, institutions, and really good traders, so you have to get to that point where you will be able to compete and ultimately beat them. This would mean making a lot of mistakes, but the goal here is that through Gareth Soloway's educational courses, he reveals his mistakes and how he has learned from them over the years. His educational courses include everything from discipline to emotional control, human psychology to charting. This puts us in a position to skip and bypass a lot of the mistakes that most people will make, and so we get to be profitable as soon as possible. In that case, how many courses are there? What can traders expect from each course? Soloway responds.
So I think the courses, right? There's 3 courses. There's the initial one, strategies of a winning trader, then setups of a winning trader, and secrets of a winning trader. And the best thing about it is that each one delves into trading, psychology, and discipline all in each of them, right? But they get more advanced as you go through. So for instance, in the initial course, we're going to be dealing with more of getting your mind right. How do you get yourself as an individual in a disciplined state of mind to be able to go into the markets and not get swayed by social media influencers pumping and getting you to go long at highs or freaking out at lows and thinking it's going to zero. Those type of things, which are normal pitfalls of all investors, those are the ones we want to focus on and kind of get you up to speed on. Then you take it one step further into looking at charts and saying, okay, what individual metrics do I put on my chart? How do I keep it simple, but also get the best bang for my buck in terms of profitable setups and kind of technical indicators to use? And then we go into things like, all right, well, what is a bottoming tail? What is a topping tail? What is a reversal candle, an engulfing candle? Everything that I use in that first course is kind of divulged there.
The second course is the setups. The trader would ask, what kind of setups am I using? When can I scan my charts? Where do I look for these trades to appear? How do I analyze risk to reward? And ultimately, how do I know if a pattern is playing out or if it fails?
Or if it fails, right? Because failure, I mean, this is the thing that no one wants to talk about. You go online and like everyone's a winner, everyone's making lots of money, but in reality, that's not true. Even if you get it to an 80% success rate, which is what I'm able to achieve in all my trading, that still means 2 out of every 10 times I'm losing. So how do you know it's lost? How do you know when your thesis has failed? What in the chart is telling you that so that you can cut it immediately and ultimately lose as little as possible?
Soloway goes into all these setups and everything of the sort to complete the segment of strategies or setups of a winning trader. He claims that the last course is his favorite because this is the one where he divulges all his secrets. This is where we find the confirmation signal, time counts, understanding cycle analysis, and how you have to look at various factors within the world and what is going on to understand the psychology of the market.
And I know it sounds super complex, but I lay it out in these videos where it's not complex. I teach it so simply that anyone can find it and learn it and master it. And ultimately you walk away from these 3 courses. And again, I think it's almost 20 hours of content. Hope you guys can handle 20 hours of me talking. But the bottom line is, it is a point where when you're done with it, you're on your road. You've leapfrogged a lot of those beginning troublesome parts of an investor or trader, and you should be getting to that profitability point just from taking these courses. And I think that's the best thing about it.
A couple of years ago, LinkedIn went up 40% because Microsoft apparently made a deal with the company. It went into a merger, but some people were buying the wrong ticker. Another company with a closely related name had its stock price increase by 9% because hundreds of day traders were making silly mistakes. Has Soloway ever made this mistake?
Probably in my early career. Like I said, I've made almost every mistake in the book. I've gone long when I meant to go short. I've gone short when I've meant to go long. Yeah. Some of my worst mistakes are when, I still remember this vividly. I think in my early years, I had gone long U.S. steel going into earnings. And after the bell, it shot up massively. Well, I was like, all right, you know how fast you have to react. I'm like trying to punch in the buttons to sell and take I think I was up like 20K at this point. It was like some ridiculous stupid bet I made back then. But instead, so I sold it, right? And then I'm looking and I'm like, that's weird. It's not vanishing out of my account. Well, I had, instead of 10,000 shares, I had doubled it up to 20,000 shares. And then I was even more furious to try to enter the sell order because I was freaking out if it came down, how fast I would end up losing a lot of money. Because on earnings, this is the tricky thing, is when you're playing earnings, it can go up real fast, but it can go down real fast too. So, I mean, it's all about just doing your best and learning and learning from your mistakes, right?
So who are these courses for? Beginners, experts, or people in the middle?
I've purposely formulated them so that it's a group, right? If you're a brand new investor, you're going to get so much out of it. And honestly, weirdly enough, the newer investors are going to probably get the most out of it, because the problem I find is that when people have gotten into their habits of trading, it's harder to break those bad habits. Right? So someone that's brand new that doesn't know anything, they're going to just absorb this and say, oh, this is the way it's done, versus fighting that mentality of saying, oh, well, I'm getting swayed by all these Twitter influencers, right? So I think your beginners all the way to your advanced. I mean, the advanced knowledge in there is stuff that a lot of institutions don't even know this stuff. And it's there for everyone to absorb and learn. And what's amazing is, and you'll see this in the third course, which is my favorite because it's like the stuff that I've developed. But I'll go through these charts in the course, and you'll hear me get giddy because I'm like, but then look at this and see how this you do this time count and it fits up perfectly with this, and it's just so exciting stuff to discover, and you really will walk away with this mentality of saying, oh my goodness, I now have this massive repertoire of assets that I can use to make money on a consistent basis. And not only in crypto, but in stocks, in commodities, in Forex, all of that stuff. Everything I teach is so universal that you don't have to be like, oh, I'm only a crypto trader. Well, if this works in stocks, why not trade stocks and just make more money?
A lot of people might think trading is a lot easier than it looks because everyone says buy low and sell high. But the reality is that so many people are making a lot of mistakes with that. So what will Soloway tell those kinds of people that are losing big right now? Soloway advises these kinds of traders to go back to the basics.
You have to really just reset. Yeah. Because it's not about, in a bull market, and we've seen so many bull markets in stocks and in crypto, it's about thinking that, oh, this is the easiest thing in the world. Look at my account just go up exponentially. And it's not like that. And if you're going to be a trader that makes money in bull and bear markets and not losing all your money when the bull market's over, you have to learn how to read charts.
A lot of critics have their doubts, but Soloway insists that in trading, charts are the purest truth we will ever find.
If you listen to someone saying something, there could be a bias there. If you go to Twitter, there's a bias. Even if you go to news, right, there's a bias. But the charts don't lie. It's telling you what is there. I always say that a chart is like a book in a foreign language, right? So let's say it's, Chinese for me. I don't know how to read Chinese. But when you learn how to read the charts, all of a sudden you can start reading it, and the charts will tell you what to do, or at least what the most high probable outcome will be.
A lot of traders use fundamental analysis over technicals. Why TAs exactly? Soloway answers.
So I think TA, the problem with fundamental analysis is that it makes sense in certain markets, and then in other markets, it doesn't. And the reason it doesn't is because markets are ruled by two things, greed and fear. Right? We saw greed on the way up and then fear and panic on the way down. And so you look at the PE of a stock, right? And you say, oh, well, in this market, it's a 40 PE. Well, guess what? Now we're in a bear market and it's now a 20 PE. So how did that make sense, right? So, but the charts will tell you when you look at a chart and it's gone vertical and it's gone up 100% or 200%, there's something missing there. There's a certain type of market environment that's causing that, and you never want to be someone that's buying up at those levels. So the technicals will tell you that. The greatest example recently was Exxon, right? Oil was up above $120. Exxon was like nearing all-time highs, and everyone was bullish. The media was saying $150, $200 a barrel, and I'm looking at the Exxon chart, and it's like it's gone vertical. So it's extended, the metrics, the RSI, all that stuff is extended. And then it's at a double top from 2014. And if you're a technician, you're like, wait a minute, that's a short. Double tops you short. And so I shorted it. And then obviously we've seen, oil come all the way back down.
Some people have claimed that technical analysis is redundant now because a trader is either replaced or not, but how does one stand a chance against algorithms and bots trading out there for the large prop shops, large hedge funds doing pretty much exactly what the regular trader does, except faster? How would Soloway respond to this?
Yeah, so that's total nonsense, right? And again, I'm proof right here, and people that have learned all these methods are proof that that's not the case. These algos are trading on very, very micro time frames, and in fact, a lot of times the algos are wrong, right? They'll react based on one news headline, and they'll all of a sudden sell the market, and then all of a sudden you see the market roar back, right? And these algos are on the wrong side. So it's not. It's absolutely, technical analysis works because it's trading humans and human emotion, and not trading humans, right? We understand we're trading human emotion, but the bottom line is, yes, it still works, and in my opinion, it's always going to work because humans don't change. So if you go back to ancient Egypt, you could trade the same way if you could chart out anything. And I often say, if you could chart like rocks, right, or whatever, I mean, it doesn't matter. If you could just make a market in anything, the charts are going to be the same thing. Double tops will be double tops, double bottoms, gap fills, reversal candles, all that stuff, because you're just trading people.
Thanks for watching this video. What areas of trading are you looking to improve on? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. See you on the next one. Until then, bye.